Fortnite OG is here, and perhaps to be expected, the community has a lot to say about it. It's not all particularly good, and as of just yesterday from recording this video, Fortnite would go to make a controversial change for the game mode. Let's talk about that and I'll give my thoughts on what is happening, but first, if you guys enjoy this video, then definitely subscribe for more content and hit the like button so I know to make more videos like this one. Jumping into it, Epic has implemented both skill-based matchmaking and bots into the OG mode. When it was completely fresh, it had neither of these things, causing some players to be frustrated of the perceived number of sweats. And I won't lie, there was definitely some moments where I was getting destroyed too. However, some of this is just because the mode is new, and because it's OG, like the first time it was brought back, it also brought back a lot of sweats with it. But I won't put most of the blame on that. The honest truth is that not having bots or skill-based matchmaking made it so the best players and the worst players were thrown into the same lobbies. Immediately people were calling for Epic to change this, and they really did get their wish. But was that actually the right call? Well, from my experience in playing in Chapter 1, Season 1, it was inherently difficult because it was just an extremely bare-bones experience. That's all Season 1 was, just completely bare bones. And certainly the game didn't have any kind of specialized matchmaking at the time. But that was okay. Part of what made the game charming is that in almost every game there would be at least one real major fight, something that in modern seasons of Fortnite often just doesn't happen. This would also encourage players to land in more obscure and isolated parts of the map, making them explore the in-between areas around POIs instead of always landing at hot drops, because that would result in almost immediate death as a new player. Nowadays we have 50 to 60 bots in every pub match. Honestly, it's quite ridiculous, but now when I hop on OG Fortnite, it kind of feels the same way, to be honest. So many people that I'm killing are just straight up bots. That really takes away the feeling of achievement out of the kill, whereas before I didn't have that issue since anyone I murked was a real player. And for people to think the solution to sweats would be for Fortnite to have bots in the OG mode is just a bit silly in my opinion. We not only know that they don't have a good history for using bots the proper way, but the people arguing for bots aren't considering that it taints the OG feel and function of the game. I'm more sympathetic to people who think we should have skill-based matchmaking, but asking for a bunch of fake, non-existent players to fill your lobbies just because you're struggling to get wins isn't really a good idea. And for people who came back to OG and were excited about how the game felt previously, which I saw quite a lot of from the real OGs playing the game, then this might just be a huge slap in the face from Epic. I understand the feeling of just wanting to kick back and relax in the game, and that's how I want to be when playing the game most of the time as well. But I don't want specifically OG to either be way too easy or just straight up unfulfilling, because that isn't how I felt playing Season 1 all those years ago. And to get a win was an actual accomplishment that you truly felt good about, because it wasn't just a walk in the park to get one. And the bots hardly even imitate a real player in the slightest way. The amount of times a bot has literally just shot around my character or was just randomly jumping or running off letting me hit them is actually unreal. I suppose my opinion on bots might be a little less harsh if they were actually more intelligent and played the game better, but even then, I always think about what a waste of time it is fighting bots in the first place. I said this in one of my previous videos, but say you're fighting some bots and maybe even take some damage. Then after you kill the bot, a real player comes along and takes you down easily because you're weakened, meaning you completely sacrificed yourself in a real fight just to engage in a meaningless fight with a near imaginary player. You're certainly not going to get better at the game from fighting these NPCs, and it makes the entire experience feel incredibly shallow. The only way you actually would even get better at the game is having those real fights, learning new tactics, and learning from your mistakes even. And you can't complain about not getting wins if you're not good enough at the game. Without bots, the person who put in the most effort or had the most skill is likely the person to win, which is a much more fair scenario than it would be otherwise. I do understand the perspective that bots make it easier to complete your quests. Without having to worry about a sweat coming around the corner everywhere you go, they do make it a pretty simple and straightforward process to get your quest done, level up, and unlock everything in the battle pass. So fine, have some bots, but just keep them in the regular mode. And if you ever were going to have them in OG Fortnite, then at least make it something you can toggle on and off before you enter a game, or have a cutoff where you stop getting bot lobbies after a certain level. Because this has so many people divided and up in arms. You clearly do have people that enjoy this change, but it doesn't seem like they're the majority. I think they were just the loudest complainers at the time before Epic made this decision. After all, anyone satisfied with how OG Fortnite was obviously wasn't complaining, but it's not like people make a habit of reaching out to Epic and giving them their positive feedback either. So maybe Epic Games felt like their hand was forced based on their perception of unanimous backlash, but I wouldn't agree if that's actually the logic they're using. And Epic Games routinely makes impulsive and split-second decisions based on any kind of backlash they may receive. It's why they nerf items into the ground or remove things they never should have in specific seasons. They can't figure out a way to make the pros happy, and they can't figure out a way to make the casuals happy either. I don't know who they're pleasing with some of these big changes they make. And obviously the problem is much bigger overall than it just being something to do with OG Fortnite. I'm not claiming to know what exactly the right fix to this is, but I felt like it was important that I make this video because it has altered the way I feel about OG Fortnite in a significant way. but I am glad to see people sharing their thoughts openly about this, so maybe Epic Games can reverse their decision or figure out a new way to approach this problem. I'm curious to know what you guys have to think. Do you agree with everything I said, or do you have a different opinion? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments and chat about it. That's all for me today. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like the video so I know to make more content like this, and subscribe to see more videos in the future. Until next time, take it easy everyone, and peace out.